Hi everybody, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to talk about how to sideboard with Domain Zoo in Modern. Now what this is not a deck. I posted a deck to this video yesterday. You should check that out where I talk about card choices, how to play the deck, overall strategy of the deck, and things like that. But today we're going to talk about how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Modern. And hopefully you can use that information for how to sideboard against other decks in Modern. So let's jump into it. This is my Domain Zoo deck. I wanted to go over the sideboard cards and their roles before we kind of jump into it. First off, Chain to the Rocks is a 1-mana enchant mountain you control. When Chain to the Rocks enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until Chain to the Rocks leaves the battlefield. This is just additional removal, 1-mana removal. Reprieve is a 2-mana return target spell to its owner's hand, draw a card. It's effectively remand, except it doesn't interact properly with Veil of Summer, which is good for us. And this is for like combos or really big mana spells that we need to make sure that they don't resolve when they tap out. Flusterstorm is a 1-mana instant, counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 1. And it has Storm, where you get a copy of Flusterstorm for every spell that was cast before Flusterstorm. This is really good against like Cascade decks or like combos with instant or sorceries and things like that. Natural State is a 1-mana instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment with mana value 3 or less. Is just a solid 1-mana artifact and enchantment hate. Veil of Summer is a 1-mana instant, draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. And you and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and black until end of turn. It's really good against counter magic, really good against Thoughtseize and Grief effects, and really good against black removal. Terra Sunder is a 2-mana instant. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If the spell is kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. You can kick it for an additional 2 mana. So this can be additional removal, like Chain to the Rocks, but it's also additional artifact and enchantment hate. Hitotsugu Consumes All is a 3-mana saga. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. And then, frankly, the rest of it doesn't matter. You can read it on your own. We're only going to be siding it in for the first chapter, and literally everything else is just gravy. And then Gigantha, we're never actually siding in. One thing you need to understand when you are sideboarding, Hitotsugu is a non-bow with Chain to the Rocks. And Hitotsugu is a non-bow with our 1-mana creatures, of course. But what's way more relevant is it's a non-bow with Chain to the Rocks. If you have like a Fury Chain to the Rocks and you play Hitotsugu, you're gonna have a bad time. Keep that in mind when you're deciding how to, like when you're playing and when you're making like sideboard decisions on your own. But let's jump into the top 10 most popular decks. The most popular deck is Red-Black Scam. We're going to be siding in Chain to the Rocks. It's really important we have this additional removal for when they scam us. Veil of Summer to be able to kind of stop that scam. Terra Sunder as essentially additional removal. Also, it's nice to be able to grab the forest and have an answer to Blood Moon. We're going to be siding out of Orcish Bowmasters. It's only good against Ragavan, and that's literally it, so we don't really care. And we're siding out of Stubborn Denial. It's mostly the creatures we're worried about. Blood Moon's a little annoying, but we can power through it, especially since we can often get out ahead of it. It's just really important that we answer the creatures. So this is how we sideboard against Scam. The second most popular deck is Cascade Beanstalk, and we're going to combine this with the 10th most popular deck, which is the Omnath Money Pile deck. We're going to be siding in Reprieves, because they play a lot of big mana spells, and really good against evoke things, actually, because it can kind of tear, you're up a card after they evoke elemental. And Terra Sunder, just for this additional removal, but also very good against like Leyline Binding and Up the Beanstalk and whatnot. We're going to be siding out 3 Lightning Bolt and 1 Tribal Flames. And this is how I'm going to sideboard against the Money Pile deck. And then against specifically Up the Beanstalk, we're not bringing in the natural states because it's only good against Up the Beanstalk, and that's not really where I want to be. So I want to sideboard against both of them. The third most popular deck is Yawgmoth. We're going to bring in Chain to the Rocks again because it's important we have this creature removal in this creature deck. Reprieve is also very good against the 3 and 4 mana cards, especially like Court of Calling and the search cards and Eldritch Evolution and whatever, and also Yawgmoth itself puts them at a really bad tempo pace. And then Ragavan is just awful against the deck. It's awful against Yawgmoth. It's awful against Orcish Bowmasters. It's not where you want. It's awful against Young Wolf. It's not where you want to be. So that's how you sideboard against Yawgmoth. The next most popular deck is Rhinos. We're going to bring in Chain to the Rocks, just as a clean-ish answer to Rhinos. We're going to bring in Reprieve, really, really good for after they Cascade. We're going to bring in Flusterstorm as another answer to this Cascade. And we're bringing in Hitotsugu Consumes All for a truly clean answer to the Rhinos. We're bringing out Orcish Bowmasters because it does effectively nothing. Like, the only card it even interacts with at all is just, like, maybe a Brazen Borrower or Ice, and that's just not enough. And we're bringing out Lightning Bolt because it doesn't really kill anything that we care about in the deck. So that's how we sideboard against Rhinos. Next most popular deck is Murktide, where we're going to bring in Chain to the Rocks. Really good against a few creatures they're going to be attacking us with. Veil of Summer for the counter magic. Terra Sunder for just additional removal for like Murktide and whatnot, and also decent against Blood Moon, to be fair. We're bringing out Neshoba Brawler because Lightning Bolt is really scary, and we get tempoed really easily with that. Stubborn Denial because I'm not interested in fighting that counter war unless we're drawing a card like with Veil of Summer. And then we're going to shave a Tribal Flames. 2 mana, getting it countered, kind of medium. We want to be able to interact and just attack with our creatures. So this is kind of where I want to be against Murktide. Against Amulet Titan, we're siding in Reprieve. It's really good against the cards that they're like getting their payoffs, like the Titans to give us like one more turn, or Cultivator Colossus or whatever. And Terra Sunder is really good against the Amulets. Also, like for 4 mana, it's a decent removal for the first Titan. And then Natural State for the Amulets and Dryad. We're bringing out Orcish Bowmasters, does effectively nothing. And then Lightning Bolt because it literally only kills Azusa and the O3. So this is how I sideboard against Amulet Titan. Against Burn, we are just bringing in Flusterstorm. It's really the only way we can interact with Burn. We're bringing out 2 Orcish Bowmasters, and it is a race, baby! Against Tron, we're bringing in Reprieve. It's really good against their payoffs. It gives us one more turn. We're in Terra Sunder for that Artifact Hate. Especially the Exile Artifact Hate, really good against Wormcoil Engine. And like Ulamog and stuff like that. Natural State for those littler artifacts, really good against like Expedition Map and stuff like that. Orcish Bowmaster interacts cool with like the Star and Sphere, but that's pretty much it. It's not where I want to be. And we're going to be siding out 2 Lightning Bolts because while it's good against like a minus Karn the Great Creator, we'd rather just go face. We're just kind of trying to race them. So I sideboard against Tron. And the last deck that we're going to talk about is Hammer Time, and this is our biggest sideboard. Against Hammer Time, we're bringing in Chain to the Rocks just as additional removal. Terra Sunder for this additional artifact and enchantment hate. Same thing with Natural State. Also bringing in Hidetsugu because it answers a lot of cards in our opponent's deck. And then because we have nothing in our deck that is like bad against this deck, we're going to shave kind of okay cards all around. So we're going to shave 2 Orcish Bowmasters. We're going to be shaving 2 Ragavans because sometimes they can block Ragavan pretty. We're going to be shaving 2 Wild Nacatls, but we want to keep this some level. We want this interaction, but also we want some aggression. We just want some pressure. We're bringing out some Tribal Flames because it doesn't really interact super well with like Hammer, but we need the reach. And we're bringing out 1 Stubborn Denial. It's important we keep some number of Stubborn Denial to interact with our non-creature spells like Hammer and Sigarda's Aid and stuff like that. So this is how I sideboard against Hammer Time. So there you have how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Modern with Domain Zoo. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social media. Links are above me and in the description, especially on Twitter and Discord. Join the communities there. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.